hungry for heaven. For heaven. I'm hungry for heaven. Listen to that song since I saw Vision Quest, the other great movie cornerstone of my life. I'm still not living in Vision Quest now. I did it, 1986? One of the greatest movies of all time. Talk a little bit. I have my song. This is going to be the background for now. I got to work on my talking skills. It's easy to hide behind dancing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just easy. You know, there's emotion. It's not really. It's not like engaging like this. This is harder. It's harder. I don't even think I need that. So you gotta just take a moment to all that energy. To settle. Once again, I'm tossing around so many different ideas. I can't possibly say them all of them, in one sitting. I don't know why I have such a gargantuan appetite for even the delivering of things. There's time, segments. Alright, let me just choose. Thus spoke Zarathustra. Today's discourse is going to be on Thus spoke Zarathustra, and its comparable meanings in the great work of art will be Cape Fear, the second edition with Nick Nolte and Robert De Niro. Now, have a little cute story I want to document. I don't think I've yet documented on video yet. Maybe I said it once on QXT's open mic and it might have got taped. I don't know, but I never actually told the little story, and one of my favorite little stories. One of the few good ones I have that is positive and even a little cute and fun, I think. So, here we go. It's rewind time. This is going back to the old world, the old age. And this is actually pre 9/11. This is fucking months before 9/11, but it's pre 9/11 nonetheless. Okay, so it was a different world. Those who lived it know what I'm talking about. Those who don't, you don't have a fucking clue. I'm not saying it to be rude, I'm just saying you have no idea. It's like trying to figure out, like knowing exactly what it was like to live in the 1800s, like it's so at the time I was married, right? I just had my first daughter, father for the first time, newly married. I had achieved my life dream I wanted to, which was to earn my black belt and to open up a school. Primarily teaching, what I learned in my first school, my first black belt, and then my own stuff as I progressed and went on. And that's what I did. And at that time, I was running my own school, on my own, without my teacher. I was already a first degree black belt, running it, and I was sharing the school with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys who were really cool, a good friend of mine. That's in Carvalho. I even trained with him for almost a year. Great. So we split the school, and they had half the days, I had a half the days, and it was working out well. So, also at the time, I was working for a couple nights a week. I was working at a gym that I was lifting at, this local gym. A friend of mine, Rick, who used to have the school, was his first, also had a gym, and he needed someone for a couple hours every night, just sit behind the desk, take the money, keep an eye on the place, give him a break, basically, from running all the time. And it was a perfect little job for me, I didn't have to pay for the gym, made a little money, a little cash money every night, but it was fun hanging out with the guys, and easy ass work, whatever. I would just sit there for my feet up on a chair, and hey, people come in and pay, and I'd write their name in the book and whatever. And that was it. But one night I was in there, and I was like this, and everyone's almost gone. And it was Sunday or something. There's this one big guy, Henry, big, strong guy, like 250. And he was in there lifting, and sometime while we were lifting, he was lifting, I was reading something. A squirrel comes into the gym because the doors were open because it was hot. It was like August. Doors were open. Fucking ballsy squirrel comes all the way in. At one point, I didn't know, so I was doing something, and it went in and went down. It went down to the basement part of the gym, to the second floor, or the basement gym part. And the guys rushed it out of the back there, and they told me about it. Fuck. Okay. So, the end of the gym closes real soon, right? Henry was the last one to leave. Big guy Henry. We later, Henry, see you, Jay. He leaves. I turn out the lights. I'm getting the fuck out of there as quick as possible. Normal. As I'm closing and locking the door, I hear Henry screaming. Ah! You know, and I turn, instinct bionic ear, right to where he was, and he was across the street behind me, and he was running. Ah! Like fucking big 250 guy running. Ah! Right? And I thought someone was after him or something. It was like scared, there's different levels of screams, This one was serious, was scared. But real quick, I noticed there's nobody chasing him. There's nobody behind him. And then I thought, oh, maybe it's a pit bull. I mean, that happens all the time around here, especially then. Pit bulls will get loose and fucking attack and eat people and shit. It even happened to my own grandfather. Once some pit bull got loose and knocked him down and fucking attacked his dog. And it was crazy, so I thought maybe that was it. So he runs a couple more car lengths, and then he's got to sprint across the street to where his little truck is, and he jumps up and gets in. And I noticed at that point what's chasing him is the squirrel, the little tiny squirrel, right? So I got a little chuckle out of it for a second. And he was like, he's in the car, like, be careful, Jay, be careful, the squirrel's nuts. I was like, what? I was like laughing kind of. The squirrel turns and looks at me. Right after he couldn't get Henry for which meant that little, like that squirrel Tourette's syndrome they have, squirrel Tourette's, like a really crazy one. And then it like turns completely to like he remembers me, like for kicking him out of the gym one day or something. He's like, motherfucker. This little motherfucker. And he starts fucking running at me, right? So, Henry's like watching now. He's a funny one, right? Here's a big karate guy or whatever. And there are people across the street watching too. And this thing's like running full at me, right? So I'm like, all right. I'm not running from this fucking thing. Also, I don't want to get bit by a fucking rabid squirrel. So, I wait till the thing gets about, 10, 12 feet or whatever, half the distance, and I, yell real loud, scream real loud to, stomp to scare him. Ah! Boom! Like, I lunge at it, like, pretty violently. Ah! Stomp, make a big scene. Doesn't faze this little motherfucker, right? Oh, come on. So for a second, I give him respect. I just got a lot of balls, He still runs fucking missile straight line at me. This is like when you don't think happens, and so this was from training and all that, it wasn't backing up, I wasn't running from this fucking squirrel. Also wasn't gonna try and touch it either. That's what I was doing. I just waited, and it came. Then it got into that little area that my teacher, I remember teaching me the very first day. He went like this, he opened his arm, he said, see the space around you? That's your space. Anyone or anything that's in that space, you fuck them up, or fuck it up if you don't want them there. Simple as that. I was like, did I just get authority to do that? Is I'm allowed, that is my life changed. Anyway, so I'm standing there in a fucking swirl, and it gets about I don't know, a couple of yard and a half, 6 feet away from me or whatever. Really hauling, right? And I'm just like time to stop. I'm like, what the? I'm like, what is this thing gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm like, I'm frozen. I'm not doing nothing. The thing launches at me and it jumps in the air about 3 or 4 feet away from me. It jumps at me like, like midsection, whatever, like teeth and all. I saw this rabid fucking squirrel. And without even thinking, I just went boom, and I kicked it with a perfect kick, man. It was like a perfect roundhouse kick, with rear leg too, so it had some power behind it. It came and I just went boom, and I hit it, and it was like a perfect solid hit where I like connected with like his head and his whole shoulder and everything, and I sent the whole little bastard into like this, he was like going, phoom, phoom. He was like, phoom, 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 phoom. I swear, I kicked him almost across the street, almost over the trunk of the car. I was immediately next to me when I kicked it, and he did an arc and went all the way over into landed like a few inches in front of the other curb across the street. Got up, shook it off. Hey, you want some more, bitch? And he went on his way. But the thing, whole little cool story about that is, not that I enjoy kicking squirrels, but it was self-defense. Do you agree? Agree not? A lot of people think self-defense is just against people. No, it's beasts, too. You gotta have your third arm. But anyway, what a difference in the responses between the two of us, But the moral of the story I took from it was out of the strength, the immense strength that squirrel generated, the ferocity, the fear, the will it instilled upon a being that was in size comparison next to it, like virtually like the size of Godzilla. Like a couple Godzillas, this thing was attacking, and effectively running one away completely, and was attempting to attack another one, who, kicked him into a boomerang, and that was it. I had to go over there and stomp him and kill him and do all that, so don't be like I hate animals and shit. No, it's self-defense, but that motherfucker made me scared, for a brief second, and when it come, and the thing didn't stop when it was coming, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I knew it wasn't stopping. I knew running away was an option for me. What the fuck? I was scared for a couple seconds. So this little thing that was, again, the size of me being the Godzilla type size in comparison to a little squirrel, it instilled a bit of fear in me for a moment. It didn't run with me and make me like run away from it, no. And I didn't overkill it either, I just get the fuck away, and did what was right. But the point is, it doesn't matter the size, okay? That saying, it doesn't matter the size of the dog, the fight matters the size of the, I think I fucked up. It doesn't matter the size of the dog in a fight, it matters the size of the dog. I don't know what the fuck that, something with the matter the size of the fight in the dog type of thing. So that's what it is. It's like, so strength, ferocity, intention, expanding your intention as far even in attacking something that's so overwhelmingly superior odds, even like it's a suicide thing. Don't go that far with it, but it just demonstrates the fact again that strength, true strength, is universal in the fact that it is not only carried and created in a vessel of what you think traditional strength would look like or be. There's many different types of strength, and it's often the ones that are the most subtle and the most unseen that can produce the most extraordinary feats, So I'm, always on the lookout. I find the real thing in things that are far less than human all the time. Stare at a couple of ants and how they work, how fucking far they walk compared to their size, and they carry and shit, and other things. You learn a lot from Mother Nature. But I'm going to close this out now. That was a story there, little practice for the old talking. Okay, missed a couple of days. This video was encouraged by my girlfriend. She said I should do it, and she was right, because I did I just call her my girlfriend? And it was right, because I was getting a little too lax in not doing it, and getting just talking to my lady friend. I didn't even tell the bullshit about the bikes. Did I tell you about the bikes? Did I go into the thing about the bikes? Real quick about the bikes. I've been trying to get a bike. I wanted to get a bike because for exercise, and it's been impossible. And I went to 3 different Dick's stores, and that's what I recorded earlier today. In each store, not one of them had the fucking bike in. And the one I finally found, the one I liked, that I envisioned that I would buy if I saw it. I saw it the other day when my daughter came up Saturday with her boyfriend and my younger daughter, the first time she'd ever driven up here. We went out and I found it in the one Dick's store. There's this bright fluorescent orange red, cool, atomic red looking awesome big mountain bike with fucking huge, thick, fat wheels. Exactly what I wanted. I waited, I didn't buy it. Okay, gone. There were 2 of them, both gone. I went to 2 other Dick's stores. Not one Dick's store had one single bicycle for sale. I went to a Legend bike place. Not one single bike for sale. So I had to bid on an absolutely fucking awesome one I found on eBay. I hope the guy takes my offer. It's fucking awesome. It's this awesome, coolest fluorescent green I've ever seen. Mongoose, and it's got the biggest, thickest tires I've ever seen. It's gotta be for snow, outdoor, everything, whatever. Oh God, I want it so bad. I hope I get it. So that's where I'm at now. I might have even said that before. Anyway, my name is Jason Mowad. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. And